make a perfect jelly cake today. It's fruit based and you can use coconut and mangoes, fresh fruits and any tropical fruits you have available, you can use it. And I'm going to use a gelatin for this. The brand name is Queen Gelatin Powder. It's a powdered form. You can get it in any grocery shops, Coles, Woolworths, anywhere, Subways, anywhere you can get this. And if vegetarians, you can use agar-agar powder for instead of gelatin. So the ingredients I use, I have some mangoes, some kiwi fruit, pineapple, strawberry, blackberry and blueberry, some mint leaves, peach slices. You can use any fruits available for you. There's nothing which actually stop you from layering. As I said, it's actually a 3-layered cake. For my first layer, I'm using some mango juice. You can use any juice, but I'm using mango juice because it's gonna give a nice color. Then for the clear layering, I'm using water. To add some extra flavor into it, I'm actually using the canned peach. I've used the juice. I drained all that juice onto a pan and I'm gonna use that for my clear layering. You can use lychee juice, that's probably the best one, but I don't have lychee juice, so I'm using the peach juice. You can use any, that doesn't matter. And for middle layering, I'm using coconut milk. You can use any shaped pan for this, and I'm using this square pan and this glass so I can see the layers. And I'm gonna grease this with some olive oil spray. You can use any oil just to lightly grease it. Then it will be easy to remove it once it's done. For my first layer, I'm adding 500 ml of water and some extra sugar if you need. And for flavor, I'm adding this juice. Mix it well. Now I am going to add this gelatin powder. This gelatin powder can actually make 500 ml of water. Adding some boiled water into it. Just a little, enough to mix this. For the first layering, I'm going to add this peach water gelatin mix onto the first layer, but make sure you have not many air bubbles and all the gelatin is fully dissolved. First layer you can add in a fast mode, but for the second layer you will have to be really careful when you add that. If there is any air bubbles, you will need to remove it. And this is going to set in the fridge for about 1.5 hours for it to be fully set. Now it's been in the refrigerator for about an hour. You can make sure by touching and see it's all been set. It doesn't have to be fully set. So I'm going to add the fruit into it. I love to place the fruits evenly, having the enough amount of space in between. Now I place all the fruits and now placing some mint leaves evenly. This is gonna give a little bit of twist to this jelly fruit cake. It looks very attractive when there is different colors and flavors. Now onto a pan, I'm adding some sugar. I got already some sugar and the gelatin. One more sachet I used because I like it nice and thick so that the cake can stand out. And this is some hot water. Mix them all together well and I pour this onto this tray. Now the sugar and gelatin is fully dissolved. I'm adding 50 ml of cold water into it. Mixing well. You can see tiny streaks of the gelatin in it. It's really nice. And wait for till it's cool. Now it's cooled down. Making sure you pour them quite slowly, otherwise you can break it. It happens to me before. You can leave the solution on the countertop even when you are making the first layer of it. You can make some extra and leave it on the countertop. It won't set that fast. So slowly adding that onto this fruit layer. It is completely fine if the fruits or mint leaves are floating. It will slowly set. Now this second layer is fully ready. It is completely fine if the fruits are floating. And this clear layer allows you to see the fruits through it, and it adds a lot of color and party look onto it. Now I am preparing the second layer, which is white color. I use all the coconut poured into this pan. Bring it to a boil. Bring it to a boil and add gelatin and add 50 ml of water into it. Now this coconut milk is boiled. I'm adding the gelatin. Stir it well until it's fully dissolved. Now the coconut milk is ready. With the gelatin is fully dissolved, I'm adding half a cup of water into it because you don't need a lot of richness on this coconut. And you can have a nice thick layer of coconut. You may add some sugar into it to add a little bit of sweetness to it, but that's completely optional. Once the gelatin is fully dissolved, you add those 2 cups of mango juice onto it, mix well, and you can keep them on top of the kitchen table for some time because it won't set that easy unless you keep it in the refrigerator. So look at this. It's going to be a masterpiece on your party table. Now the jelly is nice and floppy. Fruits is quite set into it. So I'm going to add a layer of white color in it. That's going to be our coconut. And we already prepared it. And I'm going to slowly pour it onto the top layer. When you pour your second layer, which is the coconut layer, just have to be very careful that you don't break it. You may slowly pour it. Because we already prepare it and it's nice and cold, it won't actually make a lot of damage. So slowly pouring all of it onto it. Now I have poured all the coconut onto this tray and I'm going to keep it in the refrigerator for an hour. So now that my white layer is fully set, I'm going to pour this mango juice on top of it slowly so that you don't break the top layer of it. I'm using a spoon to pour it onto it so it won't directly hit onto the top layer. See? Make sure you place it evenly and I'm going to refrigerate it for another hour. Now our fruit jelly cake is perfectly done. It's nice and solid. It's going to be a challenging part now because we're going to take this out from this tray onto this big tray. For that I have got a sharp knife. I'm going to run this along. I got a little trick that I'm going to put a little toothpick in between just to allow the air to enter so that it won't stick onto the sides. So now I have placed few toothpicks around the edges and I'm going to flip this over to the tray. It's okay even if it leaves a little mark on the sides, it should be completely fine. This is going to be a bit tricky, flipping this over. Because I have made a bigger tray, it's gonna be a bit challenging. Whereas if you are making a little one with a pan like this, it's gonna be more easier. And I am making it bigger so that it's enough to cover the whole party. So hopefully it's gonna come out nicely. So here it is, the perfect summer party dessert. Hope you all gonna enjoy this. Let me know your feedback. Hope you all gonna try this out. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.